Hey, family. I am stunned. I am stunned that I have found the energy to go live today because, first of all, Happy New Year for those of you who did not see us for our slightly chaotic but really, really fun New Year's Day live. I was doing a live and my sister was in town, so you guys were going to already see Mel. But Mike was coming over for charcuterie plates and kickbacks or whatever and cupcakes. And so I was like, oh, if Mike's going to come over, I should have him, pop up on the live. What I didn't realize is Mike was hype, my sister was hype, the tarot cards were snatching wigs. It was child, it was a lot. Okay, it was a lot happening. However, though, some of you did get great messages. I want to say hi to Flo, hi to Miss Rose DZ, hi to Misunderstood 989. Some of y'all be telling y'all business in y'all screen names. Kiana, Brianna, Natalia, Sade. I love seeing you guys in here. I missed y'all so much. But yeah, January 1st might have seemed chaotic, but here's the thing that's so crazy. My sister and I had worked like a full work day at the shop before that happened. So we were, oh, hi, Nadia. So we were delirious, right? And when Mike came over, number one, I don't think Mike expected my house to, not going to get into that. The house is cute, okay? And y'all only saw like a couple corners of my living room by design, but I think Mike was taken aback by just how visually drastic the upgrade has been between this home and my last home. And the reason for that is I have been intentionally living under my means for 5 years, guys. So I know a lot of people think, oh my God, Blue got a new house. She must be rich. I keep on dispelling that myth. No, Blue's a tourist who's being responsible. And living below your means for several years during the apocalypse means that when you finally do start to get your footing, you already have great saving skills. So the more money you make, the quicker you save because you don't believe in lifestyle inflation. For those who don't know, hi, my name is Blue Telusma. Welcome. If you're new here, welcome back. If you're a family, shout out to the Blue Crew. They named themselves and I'm letting them have it. So the Blue Crew is what y'all call yourselves. I'm going to respect that. We talk about emotional intelligence and personal growth a lot on this page. The entire page is centered around using pop culture and politics as a way to lure you into seeing the merits of emotional intelligence and personal growth. And one of the things that I promised myself was when I got out of debt, I would not make more debt trying to impress people. That the only time that I would actually invest money would be into experiences that improve my quality of life in some way. So that's all I've done for the last several years is if you see me spending money, it's not going to be on a Birkin bag or well, I could never afford a Birkin right now. But it's not going to be on a Birkin bag. It's not going to be on flashy jewelry. It's going to be on nice flights. It's going to be on fun experiences. It's going to be on going to the light show with my friends. I still haven't showed that video where I called up Estelle and Bridget and my sister couldn't come because she wasn't in town yet. And our other friend, London. And we all went to a light show. The tickets were not even that expensive, but we were frolicking and we had such a great time. To me, I'd rather spend money on stuff like that. So saving up for a home when you have been intentionally living below your means means that your friends never really knew how much you could afford to begin with. So when you finally are living in a space that's at your actual budget, everybody thinks you robbed a bank. I'm going to say this for my ops and my friends who are watching this. I didn't rob a bank, y'all. I could have always afforded a place nicer than the last one. I'm just a tourist and Caribbean and an immigrant, and my mother's a Scorpio. These are all things that would make me move like this. Okay, so I feel like people have been very weird lately finding out about my new accommodations. Not Mike or my sister or Bridget, but like people who are a little bit more detached from me on a daily basis are like, bitch, when did all this happen? We move in the shadows over here, honey. And you know what's so funny too is speaking of moving in the shadows, it's weird when you are a social commentarian and you have been for over a decade, and then you just intentionally decide to tap out. One of my favorite vloggers, I should say, has been missing for 3 weeks. I know she's probably just on vacation. And all her fans are like, oh my God, she's been gone for 3 weeks. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And I remember thinking to myself, in one of her last videos, she said, hey, I realized that I work so much, my personal relationships are suffering. If you see less of me, it's because I'm prioritizing personal relationships. And sure enough, it hit me yesterday like, oh my God, I miss her content, but she's most definitely just enjoying her friends and family. So I'm going to try to be more strategic about doing the same thing. I think if I'm gone for more than 4 or 5 days, I start to feel like, what the fuck? Have I quit my job? Because I really do enjoy talking with y'all. I will say this. And by the way, good evening to all the people who are staying up late to watch this, because I know that even though it's only 7:44 in LA, it's 10:44 on the East Coast, and it's already tomorrow in London. I know. I love y'all for rocking with me. Today we are not going to be talking about Nicolandria. A lot of you have been tagging me on this FBI plot, not an FBI plot, but some kind of plot that includes the feds, because there's a cell of Huda and other stands who are trying to pay a hitman to come find Nicolandria. Y'all, I can't. I actually need a timeout. I need unless something epic happens, like Olandria announces at the Super Bowl that she's pregnant with Nick's twins, I'm gonna recuse myself from being the person who's talking about Love Island a year after the season's over. I don't actually want that. It felt weird talking about it in November. It feels crazy talking about them in 2026. So unless something really big, and yes, the Nicolandria stuff is incredibly disturbing, and I don't have to cover all disturbing things because I'm protecting my peace. So yeah, so for those who don't know about the Nicolandria thing, maybe I'll do a members only on that, or maybe if the story gets more legs and there's more merit and something about it feels like it's a great EQ teachable moment, maybe then I'll do it. But for now, I don't want to get into the habit of always jumping early on everything Nicolandria, because then that starts to make me feel like one of those. Okay. I'm not gonna say what they are. I just know I'm not one. Okay. I'm not gonna be an ambulance chaser. Respectfully. I got too much going on. Now you might notice that I seem very mellow today. Or maybe not actually. Maybe I seem very hype and I think this is mellow. I'm heavily medicated because I'm on my cycle. And for those who are new here, I have endometriosis, which means I have debilitating, wildly painful cramps that my doctor has told me my cramps every month are the equivalent of childbirth. So I have contraction pains like childbirth every single month. And I have a very high pain threshold. And I just take a lot of medicine, which does include CBD and THC and Midol and raspberry leaf and hibiscus and every other thing that you could think to recommend to me in the description box of anything, right? But like, as somebody who's highly medicated, I always have to ask myself, just because I feel good, does this mean I should do today's live? Today's live wasn't supposed to happen because I was supposed to be taking everything off. Some of you might have noticed that I was not on Carlos King's show this Monday. I had to call out sick. I was so sick and exhausted from 72 hours of working in the candle shop nonstop with my sister and Bridget and moving and running around and holiday stuff. I was just so exhausted. You guys know when you're already exhausted and then you get your cycle, you feel like watermelon rind. Imagine if somebody gutted all the fruit out of a watermelon and all that's left is the thin, hard, white and green rind. That's how I feel. I feel like rind. Okay? I feel like I've been hollowed out. And so I was like, oh, ain't no way in hell I could do Carlos' show this week. Sorry, Carlos. They had a great show, by the way. I wish I had been there, but I didn't have the physical ability to do so. Me and Bridget were supposed to tape some content today together. She called me. I was passed out on the couch from the meds. So I did not think this live was going to happen. And yet we're here somehow. You know why? Because I woke up from my 12-hour THC nap from all the pain meds. And I started playing around on the TikTokies. You know, TikTok. If they're not pulling you into buying a bunch of shit on TikTok shop that you don't need, but are convinced you have to have in 3 to 5 business days, then they suddenly got you pulled into a story time about a bunch of fucking strangers who you don't even know. And that's what happened to me. Me sick and vulnerable. Me finally laying still for the first time in weeks. Because in a weird way, I look forward to my period now because it's the only time I get to sleep. Is that crazy? Is that a cry for help? I'm starting to look forward to my cramps because that's the only week of the month where everybody knows to leave me alone so I can sleep. Bridget called me today. I had one eye open. I was like, where am I? She said, well, we're supposed to be taping the show now, but I was like, I don't think I can make. She's like, yeah, girl, you definitely can't do it. And then she said, good night. And we rescheduled it for tomorrow. And I went back to sleep. So that's kind of nice. Does the excruciating womb pain, that part sucks. I'm not even gonna hold you. But aside from that, All right, so I'm in what they call the ADHD power hour, where you have ADHD and you're sick and you're exhausted because you're a burnout because you are constantly trying to be a workaholic. And in the midst of all of that, your pain meds, the hot shower that you took, whatever God you're praying to, and the edible that you nibbled on while trying to figure out where you were, all of that converges for a small window of time where suddenly you feel social. And that's why we're here tonight, guys. Everything has hit at the same time as I was watching this story about this Miami girls trip. And I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling very chatty right now. I probably only have 2 hours of conversation with me before I pass out for another 24 hours. Let me go on live. So welcome, guys, to today's live. We're going to be talking about Miami's girls trips. Are they a hazing ritual? Raise your hand in here if you have ever had a girls trip that went left, and raise two hands if it happened in the vicinity of Miami, South Beach, Florida, Brickell, or any of the accompanying areas. Raise one hand if you had a bad girl trip. Raise two hands if it happened in South Beach. Twinkle your fingers if it's happened more than once in South Beach. Yes, my Gemini rising said, hey, we up. We got 90 minutes. All right, so I see hands are raised, right? Raise your hand, guys, if you've had a girls trip where you're like, I could have had a V8. Like, I just spent all that money to be tired and be walking on eggshells because I don't want to offend nobody. Okay, I see a bunch of hands go up. Yes, two hands. A lot of two hands. Praise hands. Right? Oh, Vegas is second. If you want to talk about places that ruin relationships on trips, it's Miami and Vegas in that order. If you're a man, then maybe it's the other way around. If you're a man in a relationship, then it's back to Miami first, right? Look at all these hands being raised. So, guys, I need you to understand. I was like, Blue, this year is going to do God knows what. Before shit gets weird and heavy and sensational, can we just have a key for the girls and the boys? Men like to watch this shit too. I don't know why we pretend men don't watch Housewives and all those other shows. So today we're going to be talking about a Miami girls trip story time. But here's the thing that's so interesting about this story time that fascinated me. This live should only be an hour, but the way that we talk, it might be 2. So you might want to get a snack. Actually, I have a concoction here that I made. We went to Estelle's for Christmas, and she, of course, made sorrel. So I made another sorrel cocktail. Y'all know whenever she makes sorrel, I make a sorrel cocktail. Today, I'm using my my glass that I accidentally stole at Thanksgiving dinner from Mike's friend's house. I've already confessed my sins. All parties involved know I stole it. It's mine now. Thank you. And in here, we have Estelle sorrel, some Malibu rum, a couple other juices. I don't know. I was just trying to make a cocktail. Oh, it's pretty. It's red. Look at this. It's sorrel punch. You might want to get you. Oh. This is delightful. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I forgot about the live. That was fucking delicious. Oh. I should do ads for like drink brands because when I really like something, I can't fake it. Somebody said Blue with the meds. Oh no, remember me different. Y'all can already tell what kind of live this is about to be. All right, guys, y'all know how this is. It is Happy Taco Tuesday. That's one of the reasons why I was like, I can't do it on Wednesdays. It feels like Tuesday's our day. We are having an impromptu. Ooh, there's alcohol in there, huh? Just remembered. Okay, let me sip a little bit slower. We are having impromptu Taco Tuesday where I'm slightly delirious but still clear of mind and body. And I want you guys to watch this story time because it's not being told from the vantage point of the girl who got bullied. It's being told from the vantage point of the bad friends. Usually when a story time is told, it's the victim who brings us the story. This time, it's the girl who was being shady because she thought that her mean girl behavior was going to be funny. Somebody said, Blue, you look like my family and it's tripping me out. Where are your people from? Are they Haitian? Are they Cuban? Are they Nigerian? Where are they from? From the South? I feel like I have black girl emoji face. I look like everybody, child. I don't think my face is that special, but All right, let's do it. Somebody said, I don't want to hear them hoes. Oh, yeah, no, this is going to be a real life Am I the Asshole? Because I love these stories. But here's my thing, though. Somebody said, I heard you weren't feeling well from Carlos King. I'm happy to see you. I wasn't feeling well. Oh yeah, I was fighting for my life yesterday. I honestly, I'm still fighting for my life today, but at least now I can sit up straight and look into the camera. I couldn't even do that yesterday, child. My makeup artist was about to come over and I said, girl, my cycle just started. I've been working 72 hours straight into the new year at the candle shop because for those who don't know, if you missed the announcement, look at the ticker. The candle shop is closing down and going on hiatus after January 14th because we have a huge demand. We want to catch up with all of our orders, but also streamline our process and update our website for the increased traffic. So we're going to be shut down for at least a month. Oh, you people from Haiti and Cuba? Well, bitch, that's why we looking like we're probably cousins for real. I very much look like where I'm from, child. So that makes all the sense in the world. No, so we're shutting down the candle shop for at least a month or 3. Look, I might get everything in order, read through the website, and miss y'all so much that the candle shop comes back in a month. Or I might be like, hey, I want to do it extra right, and this thing, and this thing, and this thing is happening, and I'm busy with class, and we'll just come back after my birthday. I don't know. So if you want candles to have in your possession between now and April, you have until the 14th. I love y'all so much, but this has to be done, guys, because I'm the kind of person where I want business that feels sustainable. I don't want to be a mule. I don't want to be working in a way that feels like I'm always exhausted. And so I'm taking a couple of weeks off and losing out on money. I'm taking a gamble too. We're all suffering here. But if shutting down my Black business for a couple of weeks and or months in order to streamline it and come back stronger and better is what it takes for me to have longevity, I'm willing to do that. I think a lot of times people are so scared about losing out on fast money, they don't have a long view about their vision, right? You guys know that I'm willing to give up money if it means doing things right. I've done it before. And also, too, the candles in this January batch feel very special. I have been making so many candles. For those who don't know, I run an intention candle shop. Mike came over to the candle shop for the first time ever the day after New Year's. And when he came over, he had never seen the shop before. He was stunned by how massive the production was. Bridget and my sister and I were running around filling out orders and stuff. And he was like, oh my God, this is a real business. We were like, yeah, it's an actual business. And the thing about it is he got some spiritual bath because our number one seller is not even candles, it's a spiritual bath. We've run out. I'm restocking because a lot of my herbs come from foreign places, but I will be restocking on spiritual baths. And so please order them now while you can. Because if I was to put something out of stock, it would be those. Mike did the spirit bath this yesterday, I think. He hit me up this morning and was like, girl. Actually, let me look at his text. What did he say? Because I think a lot of my friends who know I do this, hold on. He said, let me see. The bath cleanse had me sleeping so peacefully. And I said, I'm happy you did it. Top of the year is an excellent time for spiritual baths. Mike is very excited because when you are starting a new year, there's something really exciting about washing off the old year. So I highly recommend if you're someone who's into spiritual baths or who even knows what spiritual baths are, look it up, guys. I'm not going to do a class on it. Please know that this is a great time of year. Whether you do your own or get it from me or from somebody else, this is always the perfect time of year. Also, too, I always joke with people, the Chinese New Year, about the New Year being closer to February than January. I personally think the Zodiac New Year makes the most sense. To me, spring feels like New Year. So for me, things don't really grow in the winter. So winter is a great time to purge. I don't want to make a speech about this, but I feel like somebody in here needs a spiritual bath. That's why I'm saying it. Now back to Miami. We're going back to Miami. Let me see. Guys, are we ready? Let's see. But raise your hand if you've heard this story, by the way. If you've heard about the Miami girls trip story that recently happened. I feel like they happen every couple of months. Has anybody in here already heard about it? All right, let's do it.
If you've ever wondered why people say Miami tests friendships and Vegas tests relationships, let me tell you about my New Year's Eve last night. 4 of us get ready to go out.
So think about it, guys. It's New Year's Eve, which was Wednesday night this year. It was New Year's Eve, and 4 people are going out for a girls' night. This is the most regular thing that could happen. Look where this goes next.
I already DM'd the promoter for Vendom, so that way he said we can get in. There'll be alcohol, no, wait at the door. Everything's all good. We pull up One of my friends is plus size and they tell her that she has to pay $300 at the door. We all thought we were going to have an expense-free night, so no one wanted to pay for the $300 entry fee. We spent over 2 hours trying to figure out if we're going to split it. Can she put on her credit card? Whether we're just going to leave, go to another club, like literally just doing everything. And we spent over 2 hours plotting and planning and strategizing. Finally, we're 10 minutes before New Year's Eve. And I personally did not want to spend my New Year's Eve sitting on the curb.
Before we continue the story, is anybody, thank you, for those of you who are like, excuse me, for anybody who's watching this, is anybody else picking up how bizarre this is? Is anybody else picking up how bizarre this is?
So I asked my friend, would you be willing for us to pay for your Uber to go back home so you can watch the ball drop, watch fireworks, and be safe, so that way we can at least go into the club before midnight? She turned to me and says, I'll get in that Uber, but once I do, we are not friends anymore.
There we go. Guys, $300. Guys, the video goes from her saying her friend said, if I get in this Uber, we're not friends anymore, to her intentionally cutting to them partying without her and laughing in the camera. For those who are saying, is this real? A lot of people were like, oh my God, is it real? Is it real? Because everybody thinks everything is fake now. Number one, she's not AI. They've already done research. It's not AI. Number two, she does have a real page. And number three, based on what I've seen on TikTok, someone has come forward to say that they are the friend. We're going to get to that later. So is it real? Who knows? It's as real as you can think anything is in social media. This is a really mean story time, though. It's nasty work because your friend is being shamed for being plus sized on New Year's Eve. You spend 2 hours going back and forth with her. 2 hours going back and forth with her, trying to talk her and gaslight her into leaving until you finally admit, girl, can we just give you some money for an Uber? Bizarre times.
If you are the only fat girl within a skinny group of friends, you are entitled to financial compensation.
This is so funny because I understand what she means in general, but my friends and I'm weird because I don't want anything that my friends have now, because I think I'm better than them, because I very much am good at minding my business. Everybody that I know, even if they're rich or famous or have accomplishments, in my brain, that's their shit. That has nothing to do with me. I don't look at people and want to be them. I've never wanted to be somebody else. I've always wanted to learn from people how to build whoever I want to be, right? So when I have friends who are baddies, and I've had some gorgeous, gorgeous friends, it doesn't occur in my mind that I'm competing with them. It occurs in my mind that society has rules of desirability. Society has a caste system. And I'm very clear about where I plot on the caste system and where everybody else plots on the caste system. But in my brain, the caste system doesn't actually tell me who's fly or not. If you're conventionally attractive, that's great for you. That means when we go to places that seem more mainstream, you're probably going to get more play than me. Okay. I don't want people who don't want me anyways, right? So I've always found it interesting when I'm making friends with a woman, and you guys, some of this has happened to you before. You're making friends with a woman who's very attractive and you just love her energy, right? And you can tell she's used to having friends who are her less attractive sidekicks, and it's confusing to her why you're not easily fitting into that role. I've met so many gorgeous women who are taken aback that they can tell that I don't feel inferior to them. And then you get these weird questions like, wow, you're really confident, huh? Like, were you like raised like that? Did you have like strong parents? Like, suddenly they want to know about your childhood, because what they're not realizing is there's something about her that is peculiar. The peculiarity is the lack of inferiority. There are women in this world who find comfort in thinking they have a fat sidekick. Unfortunately for those women, when they meet me, shit gets really awkward because I'm not a fat sidekick. I'm actually just a fat main character. Yeah, I'm popping too, bitch. Now what? Like, that's awkward, right? And so you have to get to a place where you have friends who you know, regardless of how they fit on the caste system, they're not even thinking to compete with you. Because that's fucking weird. It's bizarre. Like, I always think about my friends. I love you all. I would not switch places with any of you. I love all my friends. I do not want to switch places with a single person I know. I don't want to switch places with a single person I don't know, because I really am committed to this version of me that I'm building. When you get to that place, a lot of this shit is weird. But this girl, first of all, look how she's sitting. Look how she's sitting. There's something, she's primping and preening and like she's peacocking. And she's showing like, hey, I'm superior to my friend. My friend's tripping. Those are the breaks. I still had a good time. There's something so nasty about needing to share the story when you're the bad guy and then being shocked and deleting it when you find out the whole internet wants to cuss you out.
Because this right here ain't made no damn sense. Did y'all see this bullshit? This lady recapped how she spent her New Year's Eve in Miami with 3 of her friends, one of them being plus sized. The OP had already checked in with the promoter. It was supposed to be an expense-free night, drinks on the inside, no wait at the door, all the things. So her and her friends get to the club, and then they tell the fat friend that she got to pay an entry fee of $300. So of course the girlies were like, what the hell? No one is supposed to be paying. And instead of leaving like they should have, they debated on what to do, y'all, for 2 hours outside of that same club on New Year's Eve. Finally, 10 minutes before the clock strikes 12, the OP asked her big friend, hey, is it okay if me and the other girls pay for you to go back to the hotel room to make sure you're safe while we go inside and celebrate the ball drop? And then her friend is all like, okay, well, I'll get in that Uber, but if I do, we're not friends anymore. And then it cuts to them partying inside of the club that discriminated against their plus-size friend, who deserved way better, in my opinion. It sounds like to me that they only invited the big girl to split the cost of the expenses on the trip and not because they actually cared about her and wanted her to be included. People are saying that this story is giving broke because they easily could have split the cost of the entry fee, but no, to me, that's missing the whole point. They should not have entertained that club. They should have left, gone somewhere else, cussed the promoters out and the bouncers out in person, and then put them on blast on social media. They were supposed to stick up and advocate for their big friend, who I guarantee you would have done the same for them if the roles were reversed. This is the type of stuff that Samira be talking about, and people are blaming this on Miami club culture, talking about how they have very strict standards, but no, that could really happen anywhere. You already have to have thick skin as a big girl when you're going out clubbing, especially if you're going out clubbing with a bunch of smaller girls, because chances are you are gonna have a different experience than them. And it's even worse when the
I was trying to look at pictures, guys, when I was on the phone just now. I was trying to look at pictures of a trip I took to Mexico where it became clear to me that I was seen as a sidekick in a wallet more than a friend. I don't want to say too much because I feel like these people are watching, because people like to watch. But just know, I've been on trips where I wasn't being treated as the fat friend. I was more being treated as the friend who they thought was up and would pay for stuff, or the friend who they thought was connected and would put them on. I was looking at the pictures and then I said to myself, no, that's too messy. I'm not pulling up the pictures. So let's continue.
Same friends act like they don't see the bigger friends' mistreatment. They act like they don't see the men being rude to them, the staff ignoring them having to dance alone, them having to go sit at the bar alone while everybody else is having the time of their lives. Or in this case, having to pay a fat tax while the skinny friends get in for free.
That's exactly what it is, guys. It's a fat tax. The fact that she was asked to pay an extra $300, that's the fat tax. You also have a black tax too. Sometimes you ain't gotta be fat, you just gotta be black. Blacker than a brown paper bag, right? There's all these taxes that the world adds to you when you're not conventionally attractive or conventionally successful. So that I always say, it's really expensive to be poor. You pay so much extra when you are a poor person. So being poor makes you on the fringes. Being black, being fat, being over a certain age, it's so easy to like slip and slide on those metrics. And so it's, if I had a friend, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because there's so many people who this makes me think of. I'm not choosing violence. It's too early in the year. If I had a friend who did this to me, I'd be the one going live, not her. And I wouldn't be using her name. I would just be saying, hey guys, I've learned a valuable lesson today about value, right? About how I value myself. Because I think the young lady who left, her saying you never hear from me again, and then posting the video showing what happened afterwards. If this is a real video and a real story time, that was a lick back. Like, bitch, you didn't stop nothing from happening. It's bad enough. If we're to believe this young lady, it's bad enough you left her stranded on New Year's Eve with 10 minutes on the clock. You also woke up the next day and chose violence because you wanted her to know just how inconsequential she was to you having a good time. And baby, you're not high enough on the, let me shut up.
Yeah, I hope the bigger friend finds a new friend group that actually appreciates her.
These girls knew that that big girl was not getting in. They knew that the bigger friend was not getting into the club. They knew that before they went to the club. They knew that. How do I know they knew that?
Do we believe that, guys? Do we believe that they knew she wouldn't get in and they set her up? Do we believe that they knew and they set her up? Because I find this premise interesting.
I can tell for two reasons. One's the type of bitches that they are.
Ooh.
Okay? The fact that she hit the promoter up, the fact that this probably wasn't her first time to Miami. Y'all know how the clubs work in Miami. I've never been to Miami and I know how the clubs work. And y'all know that they discriminate out there. They do. Y'all know that. You knew that enough. You knew that your friend was either not going to be able to get into the club or that she would be charged. You knew that shit, bitch. You did. So what they did was they went down there and they had a conversation about it beforehand without the bigger friend. They did. And so they were just going to play it off at the door to see what would happen. But the fact that y'all spent 2 hours trying to figure out what y'all were going to do, red flag.
This is the part of the story that something's off to me. This feels like the Onika thing all over again. Oh, sorry, the Onyeka thing, because she calls herself Onika, even though her name is Onyeka. 2 hours is an argument. Because I find it hard to believe that you sat there for 2 hours being passive aggressive, hinting at someone a la Beyonce and Farrah and Destiny's Child that maybe she should go with her luggage. Shout out to all the OGs who understand that reference, right? I can't imagine being passive aggressive for 2 hours. If you knew you wanted that girl to take her fat ass home, which is what the story time sounded like, the 2 hours seems off. 2 hours, it makes me feel like they tried to gaslight her and the girl knew what was happening and was forced them to say it. By the way, I would do the same thing. Well, I'm also autistic, so there's a chance that I really didn't just catch the hint. But if I caught the hint, I would make you say it. I would make you say it.
Already as it is. You knew you wanted to go to that club, so y'all waited until the very last minute to be like, hey, would you mind if we sent you an Uber home so that you can watch the ball drop there so we can go in the club because now it's about to be midnight and we don't want to miss it? You did it on purpose. You waited on purpose. This was a calculated move, okay? So then from there, at the end of her story, she tells us how the friend said she'll go back to the hotel room or go back to the house, but we will no longer be friends. They were never friends to begin with. They were never that girl's friend. And did that bigger friend know? Probably, because you guys know how it is with friendships and aesthetics and being bigger or having a certain look. You know how that is. And when it comes to Miami, you know how that is. Yeah. So I say all of that to say, at the end of the video, the clip turns from her talking and telling us the story to her being in the club at the end of the day. Because she never gave a fuck. Her or the friends never gave a fuck. And these are the reasons why people have hard times being friends with people, especially when it comes to women, because everything is about how things look. Everything's about competition. Nothing.
Well, you guys know we have to be fair. Women are socialized and incentivized to move that way. We're not pathologically catty, despite what a bunch of very misogynistic researchers would have you think. Men are logical, women are emotional. I have feelings about some of the researchers, okay? White men tend to see things through the lens of white manhood and then call it fact. So, grain of salt, yes? I think women are socialized and incentivized in ecosystems in order to see dog eat dog, because it quite literally could make or break their life. And that Miami is one of the epicenters of that behavior. When you are in Miami, if you are a conventionally attractive girl who feeds a fantasy, that means all the billionaires on Billionaire Row are going to see you as a carrot to be dangled for establishments. So if the establishment wants to beat the statistic of how 80 to 90% of restaurants and venues go out of business, if that establishment wants to make their money, they're not seeing you as people. They're not seeing your humanity. To them, they're thinking, what do billionaires like? And if you don't look like that, you can't come in. It's nasty work. It's incredibly anti-Black. It's incredibly fat-phobic. It's incredibly colorist. It's all the things. And it's also tethered to capitalism. Now, for those who are about to say that tired line, it's not black or white, it's just green. No, it's black, white, and green. It's all three. Because even places that are making a lot of money will sometimes still give you their ass to kiss, even if you're not a detriment to their bottom dollar, simply because you a nigga. Or simply because you're a fat bitch. So even when money's not at stake, they still do it, guys. It's just that money gives it a higher incentive. So it's not, oh, it's not black or white, it's just green. It's black, white, and it's green. It's colorism and capitalism, like having a little like fucking cat fest. And the girl, again, coming on live and gloating. That's why I wanted to cover this, because have you ever heard someone tell a story where in the story they think the other person is tripping? But then you realize, oh my God, they're the problem, and they don't realize that you're not a shitty person like them. What was tickling to me about this story was this girl is coming on thinking she's the protagonist, not realizing she's the villain. And a lot of women, I'm not going to share a lot of them on here because it could be triggering. I went through a lot of women saying that fat bitch shouldn't have been there anyways. Like, what's her problem? She knows better. There was a lot of those as well. Not everybody feels bad for the girl who got charged with $300. Some of them are saying it's her fault for even showing up.
Things about truthfully being friends. My friends that I've ever had in my life, I've never fit into an aesthetic type group. I mean, internally and externally, I've never fit in with people, right? But I gravitate all types of people. So I've had all different kinds of friends. And I never sat there and tried to look for a specific type of friends aesthetically to be friends with. I've never done that ever in my life. So when I see this shit, it's...
Has anybody in here ever done that, though? Can we be honest? Has anybody in here, be honest, has anybody in here chosen friends based on aesthetics? And it doesn't have to be about size. It doesn't have to be about fatness or anti-Blackness. Has anybody ever chosen, because there's a girl called Gorgeous Doll or something, and she said that when she goes to certain events, she chooses friends based on who would look good at that event. And the girls got mad, and I was like, why are y'all mad at her? A lot of y'all do that shit. I will say I had a friend who is in the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% on OnlyFans back in the day. Very, very much what society considers the most mainstream acceptable way to be a Black woman in this world. I'll just put it that way. And she, as someone who was conventionally attractive to the umpteenth power, was the person who would invite me and other girls who were not playing in that kind of game almost everywhere, but there were certain things that we knew she was not inviting us to. Like when she's invited to a Drake party, I know she's not inviting me to the Drake party. I'm getting invited to the Drake party from other people, though, which is deeply ironic. There was one time where she mentioned something about a function with Drake, and I had just had dinner with the best friend of the girl he was sleeping with at the time. So I had to spend all night listening to my friend who's best friends with the girl he was stripping, talking about what happened when she went to his house and how he treated her and how kind he was. And she was like, just like, oh my God, I can't believe Drake was so nice to us. So the night before, I'm talking to someone who is hanging out with him on a regular basis. And so the next day when she says, don't be upset, but I got invited to this Drake party. I already used my +1 on insert fellow baddie's name, so I can't have any more invites. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? She was expecting me to be upset. I remember thinking to myself, it's so deeply ironic that I spent all last night with somebody who's directly tethered to him, and you're feeling bad about me not being invited to a function as a +1 to you who's somebody else's +1. This is so LA, right? It's so like everything about it was so LA. And I shot her some bail. I said, baby, you don't have to take me to a Drake function if you don't think they're going to treat me right. I'm actually okay with people not inviting me to spaces where they know I'm going to be mistreated. I actually rather be left out. If you know I'm going to be mistreated, then maybe you shouldn't invite me. But sometimes the person who you need to be worrying about mistreating me isn't the host, it's you, right? Because again, I still got invited to that function. I just didn't go. And women like that, you need to be mindful. There's two types of gorgeous women in LA. Those who intentionally only hang out with baddies in certain spaces so that they can seem like, oh my God, I have a harem of bad bitches. We're all just baddies. And also those who intentionally, I don't want to say pound puppies, those who hang out with a visual line of misfits who I'm just going to say it. There are girls who intentionally have ugly friends so they can be the pretty one. I was trying to think of a nice way to say it, guys. There are women who intentionally will friend you because you're not hot. Which do we think is worse, guys? The women who intentionally pick friends who they don't think are competition. So suddenly you realize, why are you very, very light-skinned with very long hair and tons of really immaculate surgeries that have completely made you look like a Bratz doll version of your former self, and you're dressed to the nines, but all of your friends are bigger, darker, look slightly homeless, are going through stuff with their baby daddies? Like, why is it? I can understand you having a mix, but why does it feel like you only call besties to people that you would normally call downtrodden if they didn't grow up with you? The cheerleader effect. Thank you guys for that term. But like, there's two extremes, guys. There's the girls who would definitely want to be your friend because you're not attractive, and the girls who would never want to be your friend because you're not attractive. I think they're the same thing. I think the girls who have all the non-competition ugly friends are even more manipulative than the girls who are just keeping in a fucking stack. That's just my opinion. But let me not go on too much of a tangent. My ice maker is making so much noise. Are y'all hearing that? Yeah, my ice maker is freaking me out. Hold on.
So annoying. And this is why I keep a distance with women. Because everything is about a competition. Everything is about how it looks. Everything is about men. You know what I'm saying? It's never about the real shit that matters when it comes to a real friendship. So this has nothing to do with Miami itself. We know, even me not ever going there, I know how the vibes are in Miami. It's not about Miami. It's about the fact that when bitches get out of their element and they get into another element, especially if it's one that they want to be aesthetically a part of so fucking bad, they get to act in them true selves. They do. This is why when bitches go to Miami, insecurities come out. When bitches go to Miami, fights happen. People being funny. Mm-hmm. It's because bitches get taken out of their natural element, their natural habitat, and get put into a place where now they're feeling bigger than what they really are.
Did you hear that? People get into a place outside of the natural habitat and it goes to their heads and they start flexing on you immediately. If all it takes is one night in VIP for your friend to act brand new, that's who they were the whole time. They were just too broke to show it. They're not acting brand new. The mask is falling off. I love to invite people into VIP and watch how they act. I also always watch who is pressed to get in there. I'm telling you guys, watching people when they think that they are up is such a direct glimpse into who they are. It's actually stunning.
And then once they start showing that they feel bigger than what they really are, okay, people around them, stuff starts happening. Stuff start going left real quick. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say all that to say, there are certain type of bitches who do stuff like this. And as long as you don't act like them or look like them, you don't have to deal with it.
Neither. This is somebody who's making commentary on the story. So this is neither girl.
They were wrong. I don't know if this bigger friend really thought these girls were her friend for real. Because there are people who know, like, this is not.
No, child, no. This is not an issue for a certain demographic. 46-year-olds. The meanest group of women I've ever tried to be friends with in LA was a group of women who are probably now in their mid-50s, but they were older than me at the time. And they all were over 45, and they were as catty as 23-year-olds. And this actually applies to them because they were all women who only exclusively dated Hollywood niggas. They only dated Hollywood niggas. In fact, one could argue the over 40 girls who do this are the cattiest because they're old school. They 90s cutthroat. Like Ronnie from Players Club cutthroat. These new girls ain't got shit on the old killers, child.
Not your friend, but you still will try to hang around them. So I don't know. I can't say. But it's still wrong at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Y'all could have picked something else to do. If you really wanted a solution for everybody, y'all could have picked and found something else to do.
You're about to leave to live to watch Marty Supreme. That movie gave me such a headache. Marty Supreme, Timothée Chalamet is a great actor, but that movie is chaotic and self-indulgent, and it's such a headache. And that movie being chosen over Sinners, I have issues with that, but don't even get me started. Sorry. I was about to go into a tangent about the way that they're picking Timothée Chalamet instead of Michael B. Jordan to be the darling of the award season is pissing me the fuck off. But let me not.
In 2 hours? Really? Y'all had more than enough time. But like I said in the beginning, they knew she wasn't going to be able to get in that club.
Yeah, they knew.
They knew that.
I just seen that video of the lady talking about the girls trip to Miami with the plus size friend. And they told her it cost $300 to get in the club. And the friend said that they were.
Okay, I'm going to say this. If it's 10 minutes before the club, I'm trying to shoot everybody some bail. If it's 10 minutes before midnight and you're there because you're at one of the biggest clubs in Miami wanting to spend New Year's Eve in Miami, you flew in from other places, would you have just chipped in and just paid the $300 between the three of y'all to get her in? Because one group of people would say, fuck that, if she's not coming, we're not coming, we're all leaving angry. Another group is saying, Miami is fatphobic and anti-Black. We all know this. We still want to party. Let's just chip in and get her in and forget about this. Which team? Would you be team A chipping in to get her in, or team B, we all leave? Team A chipping in or team B? Because I have different groups of friends that I could see responding to this differently.
Uber her home. First of all, me and my friends would have fought. That's number one. Number two, bitch, what you mean it's $300 for me to get up in here? What you mean it's $300 for my friend to get in here?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
The craziest part of the story is that this girl was like telling this as though this were some quirky, funny, like hee hee ha ha story. You're a bad friend. I guess I truly can't understand the idea that like if I showed up somewhere and my friend wasn't included, that my first thought would be like, okay, well then bye. And thankfully the comments in the original post were actually eating her up and saying the same thing. People up and down telling her like, you're a bad friend for that.
The fact that people in the comments had to tell her she was a bad friend because she thought it was a funny video is insane to me. Also, kicking off the first day of the year, like confirming that you're still a loser, is wild, because I think this is loser behavior. Being smug that you abandon your plus size friend outside of a club because of fat phobia and colorism and whatever else, and thinking it's funny enough to mock her publicly with you goading her. Nah, you're
But I truly just can't get over how much she thought that this was some like cute, quirky story that put her in a good light. Because at the end of the day, if someone treated my friend like that, my first thought literally would be, let's get the fuck up out of here.
I went on a girls trip to Miami in 2022 with 2 girls I didn't know, and I will not go back to Miami, and here's exactly why.
Now, guys, we're all talking about the girl who is not the beauty standard. The girl who was plus size, and for whatever reason, her visage, her appearance prompted the promoter or the club bouncer, whoever, to feel like charging her a fat tax of $300 was the only way that we're going to let her fat ass into the club on New Year's Eve, right? We're all assuming this from the perspective of the victim, the girl who was aggrieved by her friends who said, hey, can you just go home? We want to go in here without you. It's not our fault that you're fat. That's basically what I got from the story. I intentionally, though, wanted to share the experiences of being in Miami and South Beach and that vicinity of Billionaires Row from the perspective of a young girl who, from what I can see, she's thin, she's conventionally attractive. If she's Black, she has enough of a swirl in her where people can say, oh, she got Indian in her family. So she's also a little bit racially ambiguous. She could be Latina, she could be half Indian, she could be Filipino. We don't know. She could be Blasian. So I want you guys to hear how the same trip goes for someone who's conventionally attractive in Miami. Same trip, right? Because some of y'all were saying, well, how come they didn't have $300? There's some broke bitches. Well, let's see what happens when a conventionally attractive broke bitch, I'm saying that because she's about to say in this video that she only spent $3 the entire week. That's a very financially low number. So this young lady only spent $3 in Miami for her entire time there. And let's hear how it goes for you when you look like her.
Here's my Miami story time, and this is the start of my TikTok career. So prior to going to Miami, which was me, my best friend from college, her best friend.
Baby, I think the club that this happened was Live. So it's funny you said that. You said the only club I know in Miami is Live. I think the club that in question actually was Live.
From home, and then her best friend. So right before the trip, my best friend was unable to go, so I was going with her best friend that I had met a handful of times, Alyssa, and then Hannah, her best friend. So I really didn't know these girls. Like, we met rappers, we met ball players, we met all sorts of people, and I started my TikTok career. If you want to go back, you can watch the original Miami vlogs. They're one of the first videos I posted on here.
This girl only spent $3 her weekend in Miami, and Miami was so good to her. It started off her entire TikTok career.
Upon arriving in Miami, we did our little networking, talked with some people. We met a promoter, and he's like, yeah, I'll take you guys out for dinner, and then we'll go out. And we were like, perfect. He was mentioning one of the clubs that we had searched up, and we were like, why not? Dinner was paid for by the promoter. Then afterwards, we went out to the club, and
Look at who's at the table with her. So imagine her. She's the closest to black they have, right? And look who else at the table with her. So a cocoa-skinned Afro-Latina looking girl with good hair, and her white presenting, Latina presenting, swirly, not black presenting friends are in Miami with $3. Look what's happening.
there was like 20 girls in the section, and me and my friends were like, this is not enough room for us. So I had spotted these two older white men sitting at a table, and I said, girls, let's go. So we went over there, we're hanging around with the men, and they're like, okay, what do you guys want? And we're like, get us a bottle of Grey Goose, get us a bottle of Dom, like bottles on bottles on bottles. It was these two dudes, me and my two friends, and no one was in our section. What was weird was the initial section we were in.
You call her Onyega from the Danish Deception. I'm saying. She's living her conventionally attractive in South Beach high life, honey. Okay, these old men are popping bottles.
And the girls were kind of being like rude. Like, they were like standoffish with their little tatas and their booties and everything, like acting like Hollywood and shit. And we were like, okay, like they're not very nice. And we tried to talk to them. But then later, when we were in the baller section, they were trying to come over and we said, oh, we don't recognize you. So the whole night we hung around with them. Back then I used to like old men. This is me and my old man. Anyway, so then after that night.
Wait, back then she used to like, okay.
I came back to the telly. I yacked everywhere. Anyway, like, it was a mess. We woke up disheveled. You have to watch the vlogs to see.
So she's in Miami with no money, popping bottles with old men at the nightclubs, and the other girls are hating on her and her friends for getting so much attention, having free dinners. Who knows if things are being roofied or not? And she's waking up disheveled, wondering where she is.
But then we were like, we need to make it to this day party. So then we zoomed over to this day party. Barely made it to the day party on time. And when we got there, we were just like happy to be in there once again with another promoter. There's bottles, there's drinks, whatever. But of course, the old men just naturally attract us. So now we're speaking to another group of old men. And you know, they're like very polite, very cool. I end up crying in the pool with the one because he's like telling me his life and about his wife and all this stuff. And I'm just like getting emotional with this man. I'm like, what is going on right now? We keep their contact for later. Later that night, they're like, we're going to Kiki on the river. And we're like, okay, so we're going to Kiki on the river. So later we link with them. Once again, they're like, use this table.
She said, this chick parties. If you know, you know. I know exactly what you mean. Yes, I think she parties too.
As your home base, they literally said it to us, but they were like, go out, talk to people. We know you're young. Like, and we were vibing. We were up in that function. Like literally like went in with nothing, walked out with the world. Later on, we went to another place. They were just.
She said, we went in with nothing and we walked out with the world. From what I'm seeing of her videos, it seems like she's considered the exotic, spicy Latina friend to all the white girls. That's what it's looking like based on her videos.
Like paying for things. And then time out. Highlight of the night. Hannah had to go use the bathroom and she would just go to the bathroom. And the one guy was like, hold up. He literally tipped the security guard $100 to make sure she got to the bathroom and came back. And we said, okay, sir. And like, you're probably looking at this like, you know, it's only $100. Yeah, but would your man tip the security $100 to make sure he got to the bathroom safe? I don't think so.
Okay.
So they were just like so sweet. Then afterwards they got us pizza. They sent us our Uber Black home. Like we were living large in Miami, but this isn't like the best part. So I have a friend who went to school in Miami. She knows the town very well. And we're like, oh, we want to go out. And she's like, okay, bet. So she's like, okay, yeah, pregame starts at 12:30. And we're like, huh? Like things in Miami just start so late, but we're like.
Pregame starts at 12:30 a.m. the next day? Oh, honey, count me out.
Like, whatever, like, we're gonna have a night, and then we're gonna go to that club that has the balls in the ceiling. I literally have no idea what it's called. Is it called? No, it's not called Space. I literally have no idea. Before we went to that pregame, you know, we were dressed and ready by 8 p.m. Like, we were just excited. So we went downstairs, and we went to this other bar. Once again, forgetting the name.
As somebody who talks incredibly fast, even I have to admit this is fast.
And literally, like, met these men. Like, men will get you anything if you tell them to jump.
Somebody said, Blue Stop, I'm so sorry. Men will get you anything if you tell them to jump. Oh my God. No, honey, it helps to be a size 2 exotic Afro-Latina around a bunch of skinny white girls around rich old white men who want you to be their sugar baby. There's a lot around the. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not judging, just perceiving.
Jump. They literally say how high. Like they're a bunch of. Anyway, so we met these men. They're literally like asking us to marry them, like causing a scene, getting us drinks. Like I'm pretty sure I spent $3 in Miami. Like you don't spend money when you go to Miami, and if you do, you're in the wrong Miami.
She said, I probably spent $3 in Miami. This is the part that I remembered because I make it a point not to watch too much of the video, but that line stuck out. I probably spent $3 in Miami. If you have to spend money in Miami, you're in the wrong Miami. I'm not even hating on her. I just think there's so much naivete in the way that she's framing everything. But I want you to show you the luxury and the blind spots that girls who don't have to pay $300 at the door in Miami have. So if you have a friend who's like, no, they're tripping, Miami's cool, you guys might be experiencing two different Miamis.
So after that, we met my friend at like 12:30 for the pregame. Totally forgot to add this. So when we left the bar, we were outside about to order an Uber, and I see a car with the top pulled down, and I was like, oh guys, let's just ask this guy. So I was like, oh hey, like, can you drive us to such and such hotel? And the guy was like, yeah, of course. Like, and we had him like move.
Wait, that's hitchhiking. Wait, what? Wait, baby. What? You hit. So as we're coming out, we see a guy with it's 7 o'clock and a drop top. He was cruising the scene. And you said, hey, can you give me a ride to the function? And he said, sure. And so that's called hitchhiking.
This stuff around in the back, and we were sitting in this man's car. It was a Rolls Royce, but we did not know it. We're just like, oh, we're in this cute.
Oh my God, she jumped in his Rolls. Oh no, she's not an SVU. I knew it was only a matter of time before Mariska got invited to the party. She jumped in a car and she didn't know it was a Rolls Royce until she watched the video. You're hitchhiking through Miami with old men in Rolls Royces, and you're not just thanking God that you lived to tell the story. Ryan Murphy would have a field day retelling the story in the way that it could have happened.
Convertible, we're like taking selfies, and we're like, oh, so what do you do for work? He's like, oh, like football, like blah blah. We're like, oh, cool. Like people are like taking pictures of us like while he's going, because like he's got some 3 bad bitches in his like top down Rolls Royce, but like we don't know it's a Rolls Royce, so we're just like, why are you using photos? Like, yeah, it's a cool car, like whatever. Like literally.
So she's saying like he's the lucky one because he had to roll around in his Rolls Royce with 3 bad bitches. Yo, baddie TikTok is fascinating to watch, y'all. No judgments. I am deeply fascinated watching minds like this play out their whatever.
The next day, we were like looking at our videos and we're like, oh, RR, like, oh, okay, RR, like that's nice. And then we got to the hotel where my friend told us the link for the pregame. So after that, we met my friend at like 12:30 for the pregame at a hotel that was like a day party by day. Anyway, we're there and she's like, yeah, we can go to this one spot, but I don't know if we're gonna make it in because we had a dude with us that was her friend, and then she was also wearing sweatpants. She finagled her way in the back and we got into the club and we were magically behind the DJ, of course. That night it was supposed to be Mace, the rapper / DJ, and we were like, whatever, like we literally don't care. And
not Mace catching a stray. She said apparently Mace, like the rapper, DJ, whatever, was there, and like we don't care. Okay. So this young lady has made it clear that she does not care about Mace. Do y'all think, boys and girls, let's all take a bet. Do y'all think Mace cared about her though? She said, I guess Mace, the rapper, was there. We didn't care. Do y'all think Mace cared about her, though? For those who are saying she's not a baddie, well, thin, racially ambiguous, exotic, in Miami, young, it doesn't really take much.
So we're vibing. We're like hitting all sorts of things. We're cooling. And then all of a sudden the security grabs me. And I was like, okay, bye, guys. Like, I'm getting kicked out for smoking this thing. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm going to get kicked out. And he pushes me in this section. And he's like, he wants to speak to you. And I said, who? It was Mace, the rapper.
How old is Mace? Let's look up how old is Mace. I just want to do some research. How old is Mace? I for myself. Mason Betha, how old is he? Let's see. He is 50 years old as of August 27th of last year. 50. He will be 51 this August because he's already 50 now. This girl is 21 and a half minutes old. Somebody said, and married. Oh, wait, he's married? Okay, that's awkward. Okay, this is taking a turn. This was supposed to be an innocent live. This live is about Miami's girl trips. So if any celebrities catch strays, I apologize. I worked really hard not to, but this one slipped past me. Isn't he a pastor? Oh God. Mace, you're a married pastor, and you saw this girl smoking in VIP and had her bumped up into your section. And here's the thing, guys. She has receipts. This young lady might be a bird, according to some of y'all, but she knows how to chirp. She has receipts.
And I was just like zooted by then. So I was just like, oh, hey, like, what's your name? And he was like, I'm Mace. Like, what's your name? And I was like, I'm Eunice. Like, what do you do for work? He's like, I'm a DJ. What about you? And I was like, I'm a nurse.
Wait, he used to be a pastor, though, and he doesn't have to stop being a pastor to do the thing with Cameron. Those aren't mutually exclusive, guys. There's a lot of people who rap and like are in the church and still do like fun stuff. So him being on that Cameron podcast doesn't tell me that he's completely given up. In fact, people are saying he's still preaching. Yeah, like you guys, that's not how the world works. Like, oh my God, now that I have a podcast, I have to stop all my other jobs. That's not how that works. Promise you. But him being drawn to this child so close after I just watched this Diddy video and they're in Miami, which to somebody's point is the hub of sex trafficking. Guys, these are the two Miamis. There's the Miami that say, hey, fat bitch, you're over 27. You got to pay $1,000 to come in 10 minutes before we close. And then it says, hey, young girl, you like R. Kelly? I think both suck.
And I'm just talking to this man like he's any bull.
Did y'all just see that? She looks like a child. She's like, hi, and stuff. This is Mace. And Mace is like, thank you. What do you mean? What do you mean now, Blue? I just work here. It looks like he took his daughter to take your daughter to work day.
And when you speak to famous people like that, they're almost like, you don't know me. And it's like, sir, I'm too zooted for this. And also, you're my parents' age. Like, no. But like, the next day I searched him up and I was like, wait.
She says, you're my parents' age. No.
I actually know his stuff. But anyway, so we were just like vibing, hanging out. And like, I'm like, oh, can I wear your glasses? Like, let me touch your chain. Like, being all obnoxious. And then
she's trolling Mace. She thinks Mace is a creepy old man, guys. I don't know how I feel knowing that the people that I grew up watching are now the creepy old people. Like, this is taking the turn.
And there's these like groupies that were like probably fighting for their lives all night to like stand behind him. And we're just like, and just like all pissed. And I'm like in his face like this, like singing and whatnot. So then later in the night, they're like, oh, we're going to like Booby in the Trap, which is a strip. And I was just like, oh yeah, like cool, like we'll go. But then my friends were tired, so I was like, okay, cool, like I'll link up there. And when I went there, it just like was not my vibe. I don't know why I went. I was just like hanging around him for a little while. And I was like, you know what, like, what am I doing here? At one point, I was helping the girlies collect their money off the ground. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be in here and take up space, I might as well help you. So I was like picking up money with the security and the girlies, like when they'd be done doing their dances. And it was like 4 a.m. And I was like, you know what? Let me go home. I thought it was 4 a.m. When I was in my Uber back, like the sun was rising. Okay, that was Miami.
You guys, is she skiing or is this sponsored by ADHD? I don't know. This is a strange bird. She's a strange little chirpy bird.
That was Miami. And this is exactly why I will not go to Miami again, because I'm scared it's not going to be as fun. And then like,
we've been duped. I thought she wasn't going to go to Miami again because she was going to have some epiphany about life. She's not going to Miami again because she peaked so hard the first time. She doesn't want to ruin it. Girl!
I'm going to have a tainted view of Miami. But if you want to go to Miami, I'm low-key still down.
So for the girlies that live in Miami, specifically the black ones.
Now, I want to juxtapose this. This is now a young lady who I think is attractive, right? She's probably the apple of her father's eye. She is not what Miami considers attractive. And let's see what her experience on a similar girls' weekend. This is not me being evil, guys. I just that y'all like to fight and be like, no, you black bitches always trying to make shit up. It's not that serious. Life is what you make it. We all have the same opportunities. Oh, yeah? Let's just watch the other girl who looks like this. She's pretty too. Neither girl is ugly, and neither girl is the Mona Lisa, right? These are both two cute girls, but let's see the difference, because there is one.
Or people of color. How do y'all do it? I live in Sweden. My friend, Teresa, she lives in Japan. And
so she lives in Sweden. Her friend lives in Japan. So these are Black women who are already used to being hyper minorities in foreign places, and they still felt a way about Miami, y'all.
both of us were going to be this side of the world.
I think this one might be a little bit long. I haven't watched it. I might grab a snack because my edible just hit. But I'm going to let this play while I grab a snack.
And we decided to meet up in Miami. I have never, ever experienced life like this. We went to 3 different places. The first place we went to, I don't want to call the name, but it's like a 5-star hotel. We had to wait an hour in the line to get inside a bar. I have never heard that you had to wait an hour to get in a bar, right? And it's like, okay, the line is long, no problem. The line is moving, Realize that the line is unmelanated, no problem. You know, as I said, I live in Sweden, my friend, Japan. To be a minority, you have to get over it, you know? When it's our time to get into the place, we stood there and we realized that everybody else, when they were waiting for 5 to 10 minutes. When we're waiting for half an hour, 40 minutes. My feet start dying, like I can't feel my fucking foot. And it's just like, hey, what's happening? At the same time, I realized that the person there that's like the hostess, she looks at me and my friend, top to bottom. And I don't want to toot our own horns, but we look good. You know, like, oh, we look all right.
They look pretty. Like, here's the thing, guys. I didn't put this girl up. Hold on. Are all these snacks crunchy? Y'all know that if I come here while I'm on my cycle, I'm eating snacks. We keep it real here on Bluecentric Live. It is what it is. Everything in this bag that Mel got me as snacks is crunchy, so I'm apologizing in advance if I start crunching. Ooh, chili lime. Sorry, I'm such a tourist. All right, back to the thing. These are 2 pretty girls telling 2 very different stories.
But she looked at us head to toe and she turned her back to us. And if you can read body language, you realize that they've been turned their backs to us the whole night. Everybody else wait 5 minutes to go in. We're just standing there. Everybody else just kind of like the line is behind us and still waiting, right? And then we noticed that some people would come and give the person like something in their hand. And at this point, it's like, if you're begging, just say so. And I start getting a bit irritated because it's also so obvious. And I have a feeling, it's not confirmed. I don't want to say that they did this, but I have a feeling that they straight up said like, oh, maybe they'll leave soon or something. But I don't know. Like
She's saying even the wait staff was mean to them, hoping they would leave soon. Guys, these are not, for those who are like, oh my God, why are you obese? These are regular mid-sized women, guys. I intentionally didn't pick someone who I knew y'all were going to make fun of. I picked a regular looking cute girl to show you that this is not about you being bad for aesthetics. You just looking like a regular person can still have you in the clutches of Miami humbling you real quick.
The female hostess was turning her back to us, not looking at us, not making eye contact. And then there was the guy that's in security and he's not even looking at us. He's not asking us for our ID or anything. By the way, Miami is very beautiful. I actually like how it looks, you know, but they're not asking us for ID or passports, nothing. It was just hell. And then like we started going like, hi, what's happening? And the person behind us started complaining as well. And they finally let us in, right? The vibe was nice. There was live music, live performance. There was a singer and he's like good to perform and stuff. It was a good vibe. Not complaining about that, but just the whole waiting an hour in line to go into a bar was crazy to me. And I feel like there was some racial discrimination.
Oh, and the bar, it wasn't like a seated bar where, you know, you have to let somebody in so we could sit. It was like a standing. Everybody was standing.
So you wait to stand. You wait to stand, all right?
Waiting, okay,
next second spot, right? Because it's like, you know what?
Waiting to stand, you guys, at this stage in my life, don't invite me anywhere where there's no seats. Do not invite me anywhere where there's no seats. I'm going to go wait in my Uber to take me home.
But I just want to have fun with my friend. It's been a long year. We've been looking forward to this. We're both this side of the world. It's winter where we live. It's time to vibe. The next place, my friend.
Thank you for writing this, Gia. The racism and featureism and sizeism, all the isms. If we're being honest, this isn't just regular colorism about the skin color, because her and the previous girl, I intentionally picked 2 girls who are not that far in shade. This girl is about the same color as the last girl, and she's only about, what, 20 pounds heavier. And yet, it's night and fucking day.
The promoter on Instagram. And initially when she sent him her pictures, the pictures weren't loaded. And I said, no, you know, you can go to this club. The pictures were loaded now. And it's like, oh, on second thought, you can come to our club. And I was like, did they see skin color and say, you know? And then saw a picture and said, okay, maybe. You know, I don't want to judge. I don't want to look into anything. I don't want to, like, go with a negative mind. So it's like, yeah, you know, it's just fine. It's Miami. It's gonna be Miami with my habibi. So we went to the next place, took a cab, jumped to the second location. They're like, okay, you'll skip the line. There was no line. The people went in before us, and then we went in. Like, there was no skipping any line, but no problem because we're going in for free. And they were like, oh, chance to see the baby. I don't even know who that baby is.
She doesn't even know who the baby is. Okay, first of all these rappers are catching strays. First Mace, now the baby. The girls don't know who y'all are. I don't mean to laugh, but the fact that Miami is so cliche that you can't even go through one or two story times without running into a rapper randomly.
He's a rapper, but not like a, oh, there's a boat passing by. But not like on a flex thing, but it's just like, I don't keep up with stuff like that. We get there, and they put us in a section, and I was like, oh, this is a melanated club. No problem, right?
So this is where the story gets interesting, guys. She's saying they put her in a section after she waited about 40 minutes to an hour. The baby's going to be there. She don't know whose baby he is. She's just there to have a good time with her friend from Sweden. Her friend from Japan. She's from Sweden. They put her in a section that seems like there's a lot of black people around. So she's thinking, oh, this is fun. We're finally in. It was worth the wait. And then she goes left.
You know, we sat down, and two black guys came towards us, and they were like trying to get us up. By the way, the club promoter that put us in, he's white. And you'll see why I mentioned this. Two black guys came towards us, and they're like, oh, you have to get up, you have to leave, you have to. I'm like, what's happening? Like, I was just kind of like, what is happening? At this point, I'm a bit tipsy, and I'm like, what's happening? The girl turned to my friend, this friend here, and said to her, oh, you can't sit with us because you're black. You have to get up because you're black. The club promoter.
They look her in the face and say, you can't sit with us because you're black. You have to get up because you're black. They say it to her face.
Promoter came to us and he was apologizing. There's noise here. The club promoter came to us and he was apologizing and saying that he's so sorry. But he gave us two people seats during the bathroom.
The white man is apologizing because he didn't realize that he put them at the table with the Nazis, child.
You know, he should have checked first, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, what's happening? They took us up. I guess where they moved us.
Where?
To the black table. In the back. To the black table. In the back. I have never seen this. It's given South Africa, so apartheid. I don't know.
Black people, Miami is not really for you.
This young lady who doesn't even live in America said partying in Miami reminds her of South Africa apartheid. As somebody who's Haitian and Cuban, I can tell you that when I go to Miami, don't nobody want to hear that I'm Cuban. In Miami, they're like, you're Haitian. Because you being black and the Cubans here are white and loud and Republican, they don't even want to claim you. Mind you, Cuba is not a race, it's a country. Being Haitian and Cuban, I've always had very complicated feelings about Miami because both of my cultures get treated very differently. I'll just leave it there.
So let me tell you something. If you are a black person and you were thinking about moving to Miami or living in Miami or spending any amount of real time here, you need to have a very strong sense of yourself. You need to know exactly who you are. You need to know exactly what the coins are. You need to be prepared to be faced with some of the most outrageous casual racism that you will ever see. It is not the same as it is in DC.
Wait, now y'all saying America will never see me at this point. Well, I mean, I get it. My family's here, so I'm gonna be here, but I get it.
LA, New York, etc., where you're dealing with a population that's used to seeing a lot of black people, from upscale black people to ratchets to middle class. They're used to seeing it all. So in Miami, if you're going to, like, let's say a hot spot, if you're going to like a Milo or a Poppy steak or whatever, you will get clocks from head to toe. They're looking at your watch, they're looking at your shoes, they're looking at your belt, because they cannot comprehend how you would be here. There's no comprehension in Miami in terms of the local scene of black people with real coins, with real money, because they don't see it here. So if you're a black person and you come here and you don't know exactly who you are, then you're going to start seeing things every single day that are going.
I went to Art Basel last year. We were there partying right around Teacher's birthday. And Teacher lives in Miami. She loves it there, but she also lives in the real Miami, not the South Beach Shishi Miami. So I do think, in the same way people think that Boston doesn't have a black culture, and I live in a very predominantly black and Latin neighborhood when I grew up, there are certain areas that the locals know that don't get as much attention as the tourist hotspots. So I'm sure there's a way to live in Miami, even in the areas around Miami, and still feel like you're good. But the thing that I keep hearing is you're not allowed to be broke and you can't be fat and or ugly. Miami will only allow you to live peacefully, apparently, if you got money and or look the fuck good and had some great surgeries. You either have to be sexually successful and look like a peacock, or you have to be financially successful, or if not both. And if you have both but you're fat, you still might not get in.
Going to cause you to start questioning yourself, questioning who you are in the world, questioning your level of attractiveness, all of that stuff. Now, that being said, I think that Miami can be a wonderful place for a lot of people, no matter what your color is.
Wait, somebody said, as a fat, I'm out. Let me tell you, I go to Miami and I act like a rich auntie in Miami. I want to act like, look, bitch, you might want to Google me and make sure that I'm not a princess in some foreign African nation. If you act like you're that bitch in Miami and you have a fun personality, they just assume you're famous and they leave you alone. That's actually the cheat code. But you have to be able to afford a SUV to pick you up, because you can't have a Honda pick you up outside the hotel. They're going to know that you're full of shit, right? But if you like nice accommodations and you're in Miami and you're in a section full of people in the industry, they leave you alone simply because they consider you LA rare birds. You know what I mean? Somebody said N-words. Yes, N-words. I drove around in nothing but, well, I do black cars a lot, but I did black car service the entire time, especially in Miami, because y'all not about to call me with the hard ER to my face just because I took the wrong turn down the highway. Nope. No, I already know where I am. I don't fuck around with Florida. I know a lot of Haitians live in Florida. I'm a Boston Haitian. I'm not a Florida Haitian. Yeah, we're scared of y'all. I don't have the street cred to be doing all that. Okay, if the shooters come, I might duck. So yeah, Miami, I stay in my fucking lane.
But I really do think that it is a place that is very specific, that is very much not into black people. They will let you know in ways large and small when you are here. So if you're a black person and you're thinking about coming to Miami, just be very clear about the things that you're going to see and the things.
By the way, this is a Blue Crew thing. We are going to be saying N-words more often in 2026. Can we make that part of our resolution that we say N-words more often, just because, you know, we're very demure. And guys, for those who are asking about the merch, I am keeping note of all the things you want on merch. I am keeping note of that. Don't worry. I promise.
Things that you're going to experience, and you cannot let that bother you. You have to be able to shrug it off, because you will see things that you do not see in these other cities.
Okay, y'all, so I moved to Miami from Chicago. And
oh my God, having a Boston Haitian hang out with a Florida Haitian who now lives in Atlanta, that would be actually hilarious content.
Like April. And it is so different. Like, the black men, they don't really try to talk to me. Like, the black men love the lighter women and the...
Man, look at this girl. Look how pretty she is. The Blue Crew is very face sensitive. So I intentionally picked women who were all in the same normal, good, solid tier of pretty. There's no ugly bitches in this video. I worked very hard on that. Okay? And yet still.
Women, people, or whatever. But what's mind blowing a little bit is that I'm considered foreign to the Italians, the Cubans. Like they even.
I once fell asleep on the beach in Miami. We'll never do that again. And when I woke up, there was a Speedo and wrinkly white skin hovering above my head. It was a Russian man in a Speedo on the beach who invited me to lunch. And I said, I don't even want to think what you're expecting my big black ass to do for this lunch. Not a chance in hell. I could already sniff the kink in the air. No, thank you. I do not want a Russian man who walks around in a Speedo who has a kink for big black bitches. I can just imagine. Okay, yuck. I can just imagine. I can buy my own steak.
Say like I have an accent and they think that it's so cute. And it's just like literally the opposite of what I'm used to for real. So it's nothing but like all type of different races always trying to talk to me. And they say I'm foreign. Honey, I'm from Chicago, right?
It is foreign. It's from Russia.
That's just so funny what the black dudes consider foreign, but the other races and the white dudes out of that consider us foreign. That's Miami for you.
If you are the only fat friend, plus size friend, big girl in your friend group, you are entitled to trauma therapy. You are entitled to compensation because you have been victimized.
Do y'all believe that? By the way, I love that we're doing this live as I am PMSing and fucking up chips. I don't care. Yes, it's the motion music. That's why I had to stop. I was like, oh no, this girl's so pretty and chubby. We could be like little true big friends, but she's playing copyrighted music. So we're not gonna be able to hear what she has to say, guys, because I didn't realize that she had Moesha playing in the background. Y'all need to stop doing all this. The Moesha music was killing me, but unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to hear the rest because I'm not gonna let Brandy take my money from my. Let's move on to somebody else. Ooh, there we go.
What type of human being is y'all? Like, what type of friends are y'all? Like, y'all don't need to be nobody friend.
Agreed.
It's scary. It's actually scary. You tell me, number one, charging that $300, it's a drag. I would have been on that security ass.
I'm still stuck on what I have paid the $300. New Year's Eve is my favorite holiday, and finding a place. I know what it's like when it's New Year's Eve and you're trying to pivot your plans last minute. It could be a nightmare. Any other night, I would have immediately left. But if it was New Year's Eve and I was the said fat friend, I would have said, "Are y'all down to split it?" And if my friends wouldn't split it, I'm like, "Oh, you bitches don't like me." I wouldn't pay alone though. And the thing is, I would want to split it not because I couldn't afford the $300, but because I'd want to see how much they had my back.
We all would have ended up not going in there. You hear me? I don't play that. Even if we don't have to pay, if one of my friends cannot get in because of her ID, we all is fine in another club, baby. You hear me? If we gotta put up money, I will put that up. Make sure she's in the club, because taking the time out, getting dressed, getting ready to go to a club, and then your friends put you in a hoop and send you home. Which, like, I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but if I'm going to the club and they tell my friend that she has to pay $300 because she's a little bit big, I'm going to another club.
I know that's right.
If you
Now this girl looks like the kind of black woman that Miami likes. Afro-Latina, maybe a little bit Dominican, light-skinned, but has natural hair that is the right grade of A, B, or C. No 4 Z's or anything like that. She's very fit. Her breasts are perked and tight. Like, she looks like whatever surgery she's had, whatever facial she's had, she invests money. You can tell simply by looking at this young lady that she's the kind of person who does well in Miami. So I wanted to see, what do these girls have to say about black women dating in Miami and black women just existing in Miami in general?
You are considering moving to Miami or visiting Miami, let me give you the real pros and cons so you understand what you're getting into. There are beautiful women everywhere in Miami, so it's great for men, but as a woman trying to date in Miami, rough. Especially if you're a black woman, even more rough. Pack it up, sis. Go somewhere else.
Oh, well.
Being abandoned by their friends in Miami has been all over my For You page. And as the Dallas party girl, I wanted to give my 2 cents. And no, I'm not going to get on here and be all like, oh my gosh, those girls are fake. Those are not her friends, blah, 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 because we already know that. Yeah. I just wanted to add a little bit extra, a little bit of insight on what that is. If you are denied entry at a club and your friends decide to go into said club without you and send you home, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the club. It has everything to do with them and their intentions for the night, because their intention was not to have a good night with the girls. Their intention was to get male attention, and the male attention that they want is inside that club.
Ooh! I'm gonna put the chips down. No, they were good though. Now hold on. I got to wipe off my fingertips for this. I love it when I pick the right videos not to watch so I can experience it with y'all. I just picked it because I like her wig. She's saying that when the girls are pressed to leave you for dead outside, because they must get into live on New Year's Eve in Miami, it's because they want to be exposed to the type of niggas who are already in there. You're fucking with their bag, you fat bitch. That's what they're thinking. Ooh, that's cold. Wow. I like this math. You're still a dirty bitch, right? I'm not shooting you bail. But now that I know it's me getting my rotund pert booty in the club or you finding your next benefactor, the stakes are higher than I thought. Honestly, I should do more lives when I'm high on my meds because this is fascinating. I might watch this back and be like, Blue, it wasn't that fascinating. It's just your edible hitting. But right now, I think she's cooking. I think she's our guest chef today. I love this.
If the club you're going to is known for having the biggest spenders, the hottest men, rappers, celebrities, whatever, that is what they're there for. They're not there to have a good time with you. It is no different than going to a club with one of your friends and let's just say it's not packed out yet or there's not a lot of people or no one's giving your friend attention. When that person gets an attitude and they're like, oh, let's go somewhere else. This place is not a vibe. They're not there to have a good time. They're there to find somebody to flirt with.
You know what? For those who were there for our members only live on New Year's Day, watch it while you can because I might take that shit down. I was a little too. I forgot the camera was there. But in the members only live, we talk about how I recently found out that somebody I was fond of as a friend is male centered, and I probably won't be kicking it with her like that ever again. I don't actually have a lot of male centered friends, guys. All my friends are either already in relationships, so they're not pressed because they love their nigga, or they're dating and saying, yeah, dating sucks, but I have an amazing career that I'm working on, like me, or they're just gay. So I don't actually have a lot of female friends, like women identified humans who are male centered in my life. So yes, do I know that thirsty bitches are all, they abound? Yes, I know that. But my brain doesn't naturally go there simply because that's not the world that I allow myself to live in. I know male-centered women exist. I call them losers. Often to their faces if they really want to know why I'm ignoring them. Because I do think that cannibalizing other people, including your own fucking dignity, just for the possibility of some dick. Yeah, I'm never... Somebody said that live was fun. Was it? It was chaotic. But yeah, I'm never going to respect that. I respect you wanting to have partnership. I don't respect you centering men as a pick-me because pick-me's are a security liability. Part of my biggest things and for 2026 is security. Not safety, guys, security. Safety means how do I feel with you? What are we cultivating internally as a couple, as a friendship, as a tribe, as a community? Shout out to the Blue Crew. Safety is about what we're creating internally. Do we feel safe with each other? Security is about external threats. Are we making sure that we're looking out for external threats? Right? I love where I live. My friends think that this place is cute. I'm also telling the handful of friends who even know my new address, do not share that shit with other people. I used to have the house that everybody would come to. I'm now not even cool with niggas knowing what neighborhood I'm in. Right? Because you can come in my house because I feel safe inside the house. But the last couple of years have taught me there are wolves in the woods, right? There are haters and succubuses and evil eyes hiding in the bushes. And so even though I always felt safe, now I'm worried about being secure. So yeah, I'm happy she's cooking because now I'm realizing, oh, there's a security risk in this too. If she's looking for a sugar daddy and you're standing in her way, someone who's thinking like that doesn't give a fuck about your dignity on New Year's Eve. She wants to get inside.
And I'm saying this as a girl who has literally gone to events that have been completely empty with my group of 4 people, and we will turn it up. Literally, I went to an event with my friends for Halloween. We had the best time of our lives, and there was only 20 of us in the event. Mind you, it is a huge venue space. It was huge. And it's sad, but sometimes when I hear girls and they're like, oh, I go out for myself. I wear things for myself. I'm going out to have a good time with my girls. Sometimes you can't believe it. You really can't, because you have to sit there and think to yourself, if there were no men at this club, would you still be having a good time? How easy would it have been to go somewhere else? Like this, it would have been so easy. Most clubs are in a line of clubs. You could have just gone to the next one. So if your friends have ever abandoned you at the club, yes, those are not your friends, 1, but 2, they didn't abandon you because you're fat. They abandoned you because they wanted to get... Anyways, bye.
Well, sometimes.
That was a great point. That was a really great point. So wait a minute, Blue. You told us Virgos to pursue the dick at all costs. Remember? No, I didn't. Just because you needed to get some dick doesn't mean at all costs. No, I didn't. I love how you tried to throw a little extra razzle dazzle in there. That's not what happened. Not at all costs. I don't want you to get anything at all costs except for your dignity. No, And even that sometimes lie if it means you walk out the room alive. Good game.
These things have to happen because it's the only way you will leave. It's the only way that you will end a friendship that's supposed to have been ended long ago. And I'm sure this is not the first time that your friend had a sign to end this friendship with you.
Yeah.
And because it's so funny because she left.
The girl who's saying it's AI, it's not AI. Everybody's gone to her page and they're saying it's not AI. By the way, is that AI the new response to everything? And if the person wasn't talking about that, there are people who are like, well, everything is AI now. How do we even know it's real? Guys, I'm not walking into 2026 being completely hyper-focused on AI. At this point, the robots can have it.
You in 2025. And she's moving on in 2026, and we thank God for that. Because for you to have...
I know, Lily, but people are actually thinking the girl's AI. You're joking. They were serious. There's actually a video I think I might have put in the compilation where a girl's like, I don't think she's AI. Stop saying that.
I've chosen 10 minutes at the club as opposed to saying like, sis, we're going to put the money together. How much do you have? I have this. Shorty, the other person has that. Let's put the money together so we can all ensure that we get into the club. Or instead of you just being like, let's go somewhere else. We don't have to go to the club. We don't have to, whatever it is. Like, Miami really does test friendships. That's crazy. And the thing is, you came on the internet to talk about this. I don't know why. I don't know if you thought to yourself like, oh, people are going to have my back. People are going to see how I wasn't in the wrong. I don't know what it is. Like, because I would never have came on the internet to give this story. I just think that's bizarre. To me, that's crazy. And I'm really hoping there wasn't really a friend. I'm really hoping that this was just
Now, here's the thing. You said my friends are not male-centered. Most of my homies are queer and care about community more. Okay, as somebody who's in the queer community for a very long time in the epicenter of Washington, D.C. in the early 2000s, honey. Okay, when she was extra gay. The queer girls, though, how do I say this nicely? Am I choosing violence because of my sorrel cocktail? The girlies, the queer girlies, are not male-centered, but they could be stud-centered. I know some girls who would sell their firstborn for the right stud, which is just a gay way of being male-centered. So I don't think that queerness stops you from being a pygmy. I know some gay-ass pygmies. It's a sickness, guys. Pygmyism, yes, they're strap-centered, they're stud-centered. They all want the same 3 pretty light-skinned studs with perky breasts and long straps and 6-packs. Like, it's not that different, y'all. It's not. I spent so much time with the gay community and so much time with the straight community and so much time with the witchy community and the Christian community and the agnostic community. Y'all are not as different as you think. That should be tasting the same a lot. The gay girls are some of the most cutthroat bitches that you will ever meet, all for some dick that comes off and goes into the washer. I'm just saying. Yes, they're masculine centered. I'm just saying. You all have those 3 to 5 pretty studs that everybody wants. Let me hit play before I shoot.
Something that you made up in your head. And yeah, I'm really hoping that it's something that you made up in your head because I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, what I do? Why y'all keep saying my name like I'm in trouble? The girl said queer. I said, nah, the gays be on some bullshit too. What? I too am partially gay. You know what we call it? Pansexual? Don't that mean that I'm in a hot air balloon above the LGBT ticka biggers? I'm the satellite. Wait, who is calling me? Child, not Kendall calling me. Hold on for a second. Fran. Well, you're so funny, friend. I'm on live right now. I'm about to wrap up in like the next 15 minutes. I I did not put you on speaker because I was like, oop, just in case he's supposed to y'all. Somebody said, Kendall said, one thing my girl do is work, and I was hoping that you were done with work. I'm almost done, friend. I promise, because I really do want to talk to you. So I'm going to call you back in like 20 minutes, but you actually have to pick up. Oh, okay. Look at you having discipline. All right, love you. Bye. Sorry, y'all. Okay, we got to wrap this up. I got to call Kendall back. I don't know if that's unprofessional, but we're going to watch the rest of the video, but then I got to go and call Kendall back.
Anybody, I don't care if you're not even that good of friends, would leave somebody by themselves on New Year's Eve to celebrate in an Uber.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is kind of crazy.
Do you know how brave you have to be as a black woman to be trying to get into clubs in Miami?
Won't be me. Unless we have a reservation where I am guaranteed and my credit card, my MX points have already been applied to the table. And if you don't let me in, me and your manager going to tussle. Unless it's one of them situations, count me out. That's somebody said, wait a minute. I'm one of the 5 studs. See, we know how that works. Yeah, guys. For black women, racially unambiguous black women over the age of 30 who are not considered stereotypical baddies with a body mass over 1%, yeah, Miami might not be the place.
A black woman, a plus size woman, girl, stay your ass in the house. They're not letting you in there.
Y'all know that Miami club promoter that just like yells at people? Well, I asked him where I should go to club in Miami because I'm fat. He told me to go home. This is why I have never been to Miami, okay?
Kendall, we're talking about how Miami's girls' trips are a hazing ritual and have ruined friendships forevermore. And this girl tried to get into the club at Miami on New Year's Eve, and they told her she had to pay a $300 fat tax. And so her friends left her. They left her. By the way, guys, we have a video of the fat friend. Did I not tell y'all that part? I was like, well, who's this girl who was so fucking big that they wouldn't let her into the clubs of Miami and her friends have been like, who is this girl? So we found the friend.
I'm trying to think some of you have
fast forward.
Gloria Stoll was basically saying how she picks friends based off of, you know, the aesthetic of where she's going, and everyone was in an uproar about it. And although I don't operate like that, like at all, and I don't necessarily agree with that type of thinking.
Now get to the
that's breaking with that type of thinking. I do agree with sparing your friends their feelings and not putting them in uncomfortable situations. And because I'm friends with promoters, like a lot of times they'll say, okay, bring your friends. And in their brain, they're thinking your friends mimic you.
For everybody who's saying this girl doesn't look like a typical Miami baddie, there's a new genre on OnlyFans of like the nerdy girls with big old bitties. Men go for this. So this is more marketable than you think.
Whether that could be in fashion, size, look, whatever the case is, right? And all they're thinking is, okay, I'm going to bring girls. Girls attract guys. Guys attract money. Like, this is the domino effect here, okay?
It's for the girls and the gays. So if you're a gay man who's popping and dresses nice and you always know all the bad bitches or like a stylist, or if you're someone who is considered, how do I say this nicely? I knew a girl who wasn't that pretty in the face. I'm going to just say it. Fuck it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. She was facially challenged. She looked like an albino muskrat, but she had a great personality and she was light-skinned with a fat ass. Okay? She was facially challenged, but she was light-skinned and had a fat ass. That's almost pretty in Miami. And she was known for, if a guy saw her being light with a fat ass, they would ignore the face, right? Because pussy don't have no face according to what the men say. They knew that if you're the madam, you're allowed to look like a muskrat because you probably know a bunch of baddies who look the way that you look from a distance. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to just say this. She's not lying. They will look at you and see, are you the person who can pull the baddies? And if they think you are, what did I do, guys? Why y'all saying am I in trouble? This is the only community where the host gets in trouble with the audience. What's happening? Y'all like my story times. I can't help you look at the albino muskrat. If I showed you a picture, you would actually be stunned by the accuracy and applaud me. Meerkats are sexy. Yes, that's why you all love Michael B. Jordan. Yes, meerkats are sexy. Let's continue with the video.
Everything comes down to capitalism. and the world being extremely shallow. The world is extremely shallow.
Duh.
It's just one big game.
It's not that Miami doesn't like big girls.
Now, I tried to find a video. Now, here's this live, guys. If you are a big bitch, but you're a pretty big bitch, you're like, Blue, I think I might could get in, right? If you are pretty enough to be a model at Lane Bryant and not just a customer, yes? And you're thinking, well, Blue, where do all the pretty big bitches go? We know the ugly bitches can't get no play in Miami because Miami is shallow. But what if a man had a big booty auntie who he was fond of and he's found place in his heart to find a woman shaped like her? Where do we go? I did my best to find y'all some places. I didn't find shit. I didn't find nothing. I'm not even gonna hold you. I tried. I really did. I tried. But this man alleges that there might be 2 or 3 spots. I haven't vetted anything that he's saying, but my searches came up with dust and museums.
So if you're a big girl, you can still go to Miami. You just can't go to the top clubs. Ocean Drive is fantastic for big girls. So if you're trying to go to the top.
Wait. Why is Ocean Drive? This is why the body positivity people don't be fucking with me, because I be keeping it a little too stacked. Why is Ocean Drive the place for pretty big bitches? And also, why is it, now that I'm thinking about it, most of the hotels that I've stayed at and Airbnbs that I've stayed at in Miami are on Ocean Drive? Wait. Did my algorithm assess? Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Of all the places to name, he's naming the one place that I always end up. Oh, man. Not me being Exhibit A. Well, that's awkward. Let's keep listening.
Spots, pretty privilege is definitely a thing. So you got to think about, am I making the club money? So if you're not making the club money, they ain't really gonna like you. Essentially, when they're pretty girls, men spend a lot of money. The men are paying a higher premium because they are looking for a certain type of girl. So it is not that the club doesn't like big girls. It's because what the men want is who they bring.
It's not the girls' trip to Miami that's breaking the friendship. It's the girls on the trip to Miami
That's the word. It's not the girls' trip to Miami that's breaking the friendship. It's the girls on the trip to Miami
breaking the friendships.
That's the word.
I'm the $300 plus.
Guys, this is the friend. This is allegedly the friend who was so fat she couldn't get in. This is her. Y'all, this is a scheme that Todd set up. Y'all, imagine how I felt after spending hours of research. And then they say, oh, we found the girl. We found the fat bitch, right? We found Precious with the basket of chicken running out of Liv on New Year's Eve because she didn't want to pay $300. I couldn't cancel the live because normally I'd be like, oh, so we're not going live. This is ridiculous. But I had already put out the announcement, so I'm so sorry. Remember me different. This is the friend. This is the obese tub of something that got kicked. I'm going to just let her cook and tell her story, child.
Size Miami friend. I really wasn't going to address this at first, but I keep seeing it all over my For You page, discourse, and think pieces. So,
y'all, it's not clickbait. I just saw this video as I was about to get on live. That's why it took me an extra 5 minutes to upload. I was like, oh, they found the girl. And then I saw the girl. I said, oh, man, I can't cancel this shit. I done cut all these fucking clips. People are already in the waiting room. Y'all, let's all go through this together.
I felt like I needed to come tell my side of the story. I've really been confused about this whole situation, but here we go. So I'm from New York. I flew out to Miami to hang out with these girls that I thought were my homegirls to spend New Year's together. I've known these girls for a minute. We were good friends. And everything was planned for New Year's. One of my friends, old friends, hit up the promoter, let him know how many girls were coming, and everything was good. So I'm excited. I'm hype. I'm about to have a nights out, spend New Year's with my homegirls. So we get to the door, and the promoter is like, I have to pay to get in because I'm plus size. all of them can get in except for me. So at that point,
guys, we're in the upside down. I don't think it's 2026 yet. I think we're still in a fever dream in the last season of 2025. I don't. TikTok is a dangerous. I'm gonna let her finish telling her story, but TikTok is a dangerous place.
I basically felt targeted, and I'm tight. Like, I'm mad.
By the way, I know a girl who talks just like this, and she wasn't an actress. She wasn't trolling for to go viral. She was just pretty and kind of stupid. So the woman like this is actually, people like this exist. I'll just say that.
Used. I'm like, huh? Like, it was crazy. So now we're outside for 2 hours trying to figure out what we're gonna do, going back and forth because I can't get in because I have to pay $300 because I'm plus size.
Somebody said we all died during COVID and this is an alternate universe. This is what Precious looks like with a bucket of fried chicken in 2026, y'all. I just work here. Somebody said this is the damn girl the world has. She a tub of something, child. Okay. If Miami thinks that she deserves a $300 fat tax, then I'm just staying my ass at home.
And my former friend says, can we Uber you home? And I tell her, I'll get in the Uber. But once I get in the Uber, me and you, we not cool anymore. Period.
Period.
It was never about the $300 for me. It was the principle. And it's the fact that y'all supposed to be my homegirls. I flew out here from New York and y'all are trying to send me home and go inside without me instead of let's find somewhere else to go. You feel me? Like, so 10 minutes before the ball drops, they go inside and I Uber home and they're cut off after that. Not only was I embarrassed by the club, I lost people, girls who I thought were genuine friends. And this was a traumatizing experience. So, yeah, when they say be careful.
Wait a minute. Respectfully, it's like she has to wait for the words to generate before speaking. I think any club would be silly not to let her in. I think she's good for business. The life is derailed. I probably shouldn't have shared this, but y'all know I can't lie to y'all. When I saw this, I had to share it. No, this is not AI. It's just a bitch from the Bronx. Like, no, what do you mean? Everything is not AI, guys.
In Miami will show you who your true friends are. It's that serious.
What we need to be asking is why you were in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you outside of your city without an extra $100 in your pocket?
That part. I know everybody likes to talk about getting flued out, but if you can't afford to flew yourself back, maybe you shouldn't be flued out to begin with, right? If the flu only goes in one direction, but it's not flown on the way back to where your mail comes to, you stay home. If you cannot afford the extra guac on this trip, stay home.
That's what I want to know, because you said they wanted her to pay $300. Between the three of you, that's an extra $100. You've got $20 to put towards an Uber. So really, it would have just been another $80. How are you in Miami? Again, outside of your city.
Yeah.
Without $100 extra. Y'all be out here playing with y'all life.
Everyone's always like, my.
But somebody said, I know this girl. I've grown up with this girl. I was ready to feel bad for her. Man, she will be fine. She's from New York, now moving better. Josh needs Dykeman OG to talk to her. She's probably had a couple. She seems like they would love her on Dykeman.
Miami's so expensive. How can you afford it? How can you afford it? You're right. It's absolutely not affordable. Because you know what? You cannot afford to not be here hot. You have to wake up every.
She said you can't even afford to live here if you ugly, child. Wow. Okay, what was I on? What part of my medication was I on when I decided to end on this note? Somebody said this is the pressures we were looking for. Blue, don't even wait to be. Look, in 2026, you can't trick me, okay? I'm just gonna put the stuff out there and let y'all decide what y'all looking at. I just work here.
Every day, work out. Everyone's doing some sort of wellness activity. I feel like if I don't work out, I'm gonna feel bad. I feel like if I'm not taking care of my skin, my hair, my nails, that I'm gonna miss out. And
If she doesn't get her nails done, nobody's gonna invite her out. I know y'all think LA is shallow. I think Miami might be more shallow. In LA, if you are successful and beloved, you can walk around looking homeless and still have lots of friends. Ask me how I know.
get left out. So yes, Miami is not affordable. You cannot afford to live here and not be hot.
And that is the final word, guys. If you were thinking like I am about, oh, what trips am I going to take for the first half of the year? We always think about Miami because ironically, Miami is inexpensive to fly to, even though it's expensive to stay and be welcomed. Somebody said, Blue, I need this laugh. Look, man, I was delirious today. I need this laugh because I'm crying. This is the kind of foolery I like. I will say this. I wanted to end on two high notes before I go and call Kendall and get in his business. And let him into mine because I only have like 4 friends I trust at this point, and it's actually okay. I'm learning that it's not a bad thing to have a small list of friends that you confide in. It means that you like to hold sacred things sacred, because I'm not secretive, I'm just private. And the difference between being secretive and being private is the flow of it. Privacy just means what belongs to me stays with me a little bit longer. Secretive means that I am in the shadows working on things, like as if I am worried about a plot against me, which is steeped in lack, or I'm trying to get over on somebody, or I'm centering other people. Privacy is about minding your business, minding your own business. And so as somebody who's private but not secretive, it's been an interesting first couple of days of the year. I'm already getting so many downloads. Us doing Tarot Tuesday on the first day of the year definitely made the entire year very clear, right? There's some things that I did not know on December 31st that here on January 6th, I currently am very cognizant of. So this year has already been amazing for me psychically. And I was like reading this post on Threads, I think. And on the post on Threads, somebody asked, what's one good habit that saved you? And I realized the good habit that saved me, in particular in 2025, was that I started January 1st of 2025 having one epic goal. And my epic goal was to consistently bet on myself when it comes to content creation. And I told myself, Blue, you do content creation for fun. You don't consider it a real job. You go viral by mistake a couple of times a year, and then you forget about it. People have been begging you to be consistent. What would happen if you were just consistent? Not new content, not new you. It's new year, same me, right? Nothing new. What happened if you take everything that you're already doing and you're just consistent? And by July, August, we had a whole community. So I like the idea of having simple resolutions that guide you rather than like really granular, insecure, carry the one type of stuff where you don't believe that the universe can like do some of its own magic. For me, one of the things this year is security and abundance, right? Abundance, sure, but abundance without security is not long-lived and it's full of heartache. And one of the things that has saved me this year is every morning I wake up and I say thank you. The habit that has saved me in 2025 that I plan to bring in 2026 is I wake up every morning, and when I open my eyes, and sometimes before I even open my eyes, the first prayer out of my mouth is thank you. Thank you that I woke up today. Just thank you. Before I ask God for anything or plot or scheme, I simply say thank you. Another thing is I really like my current house, and I realize that every time I vision space a house and look up furniture and daydream about what I want and like act as if I already live there, I always end up in the house that I want. It keeps happening. This is like the 3rd or 4th house that I've manifested, and every house is nicer than the one before it. Because of that, I was like, I just need to do the same thing when it comes to my health. Because, as you get older, you need to focus on health more because your body doesn't recover as fast. And also my love life, right? Like, I always have random stories on here about a cute boy that I'll run into. But I was like, I need to be intentional. What kind of man makes me feel the way I want to feel around the next person that I get into a relationship with? And you know what I realized? I love men who like to cook. And it's not because I'm a tourist and would like to eat and would never be in the allegations. There's a certain charm and mindfulness that a lot of men who cook have. Because when you're feeding people, in the time of you cooking, you have to be of service. Now, do chefs who are maniacal, narcissistic assholes exist? Sure. Hopefully what I've learned in life so far would stop me from dating one of those. But when you're a good, decent man who loves feeding people, there is a general appreciation for community and or family that is inherent in that I find very attractive. Also, the idea that you want to feed me and aren't convinced that I have to always feed you. On a primitive feral level, I find that deeply attractive. So I saw this video today. I posted it on one of my stories, I think. But it's about this young lady who was gloating over the fact that her man cooks his ass off. And I'm watching the video thinking, oh my God, I totally want to attract the guy who makes me feel like this. I'm going to play this, guys, because a lot of you have been hitting me up about relationships and love and how you feel like finding generous love is hard. Well, let's see a man who's generous through the stomach.
Ask me with a nigga who can cook. Fuck cook. My baby throws damn.
Arab food like an Arab.
So her name is Zendaya. The girl is black. Her name is Zendaya. This is one of her cousins. And her cousin is saying, oh, when he cooks Arab food, it tastes like an Arab made it. When he cooks Chinese food, it tastes like a Chinese person makes it. Whatever food he makes, it's like he becomes that culture. I thought that was
Crazy. Everything he makes is like he was born and raised in that country. Born and raised in that country.
So I'm gonna show y'all what my man cooked for.
By the way, don't tell Kendall to go to bed because this is the last video. This is the last video, y'all. So don't tell Kendall to go to bed. I'm trying to talk to my friend. I told him I'd be done in 20 minutes, and that was 19 minutes ago. So as soon as this is done, I'm gonna pivot.
Dinner tonight.
Though you make me holler, though you make me sweat, I can't get
Not copyright music. Don't get me in trouble at the very end. So she's showing him, ooh, he's making like brown stewed chicken or something. What is this? Yeah, that looks like brown stewed chicken. Look at her face. She looks crazy. He's making greens. Oh, you could tell she be eating. As a Virgo, I was watching the clock. Y'all, I'm showing this video because I want you guys to understand if someone was to grab your phone by the end of this week or this month, would your explore page be an accurate depiction of the life that you are currently building, or would it just be a glimpse into the places where you dysfunctionally escape to because you haven't created a life worth sticking around for? I love that my explore page is full of niggas who can cook, mindfulness practices, fun places to go, interesting books, fun movies, and social commentary. My explore page, my algorithm looks like me. Except for on Threads, because Threads is the Wild Wild West. They just show you everything. But this young lady and her man who's making her cook so good that he's making her cry. The fact that look at this. I want this to fill my algorithm. Okay? Gia said your page is all traveling and food. Guys, let's get into the space of we're exposing ourselves to all the things that we want to feed. Right? Whatever you feed grows. So if you want something to grow, feed it. And if you want something to go away, starve it. Starve it of your intention, starve it of your time, starve it of you even thinking about it. Right? So guys, I have to go. I love y'all so much. This live was slightly delirious. We got. The fact that I did that entire live and 5 minutes before we go on, I find out who Precious is. 2026 has a sense of humor. Let's hope that we're not the punchline and we get to laugh along with it. All right. Until next time, guys, I love you so much. Bye, family.